So just come to stand on 2 feet. Maybe shift a little bit from side to side. And if you feel stable here and you'd like to just try a little more challenge to balance, just bring your feet a little closer together. And I'd like to start this balance practice by noticing that even when we're standing on 2 feet, that's a pretty large structure, however much you weigh, to be balanced on that little small point. So it's pretty amazing that already we're not toppling over to the forces of gravity, just even with the small base that we have. So now take a comfortable stance, however narrow or wide you want that to be. And just start to shift your weight about 90% into one foot and 90% into the other foot. And then as you shift, see if you can just barely feel the opposite foot grazing the yoga mat. And notice the side of your body that you put your weight in is really working. And switch. So that the foot just barely grazes the mat. So that in and of itself is a wonderful way to improve balance just throughout the day when you're standing in the grocery store line or you're brushing your teeth, just shifting the weight to challenge one side of the body to hold the weight. Now let's find one foot and then just bring a leg up in front. I'm going to do a little balance test before we'll do a before and after today. So with that leg forward, just feel the standing leg, the strength that side of the body has to find. Bring your hands in front of your heart and in slow motion, just shoot at that leg behind you. Do a little test here. This is the version of Warrior 3. You're welcome to keep your arms in close or stretch them out. I want you to just pay attention to your foot and ankle. Notice that there's a little wobbling going on there. That's the idea. That's a foot learning to balance you better. Learning a new relationship with gravity. And then come back to standing, equal standing on 2 feet, and just notice the difference in the left side and the right side of your body. The leg you were standing on probably feels more solid, strong, planted. So let's just try that same thing on the other side, a little pre-test. Pick up the foot. Root down through the standing leg and then just slowly switch, shift that leg back. And arms can go wherever you like, up, out, or in. And check in again now with this foot, this ankle. Notice the effort it's making to keep you balanced here. That's a lot of weight to be balanced over that small little foot down there. Pretty amazing that the body can do that. Come back to mountain pose, equal standing. And then let's go ahead and hinge from the hips. We'll bring our fingertips to the floor. Let's step back to downward facing dog. And now just go ahead and stretch through the feet, the heels, the legs. And we're gonna do a nice little sequence here that'll help us get warmed up. So on the inhale, come way up on the tippy toes. On the exhale, lower the knees to the ground. Inhale into cow. So the belly comes down, the shoulder blades hug together. And then as you start to round your back, press into downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Inhale to toes. Exhale, slowly lower the knees to the earth. Inhale, arch your back, cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time. Toes, knees. Inhale to cow. And this time we'll flatten out our feet, widen the knees. Let's press back into child's pose. Find a pillow for your forehead. It could be the floor, it could be hands. Let the hips settle back over the heels. Find your breath here. When you're ready, return to a tabletop position. Square your hips, press into your hands, and just bring one leg around to the front of your mat. Find a kneeling lunge, doesn't matter which leg. I'm just gonna give a little hip flexor stretch before we go any further. Take some nice deep breaths. You might play with challenging your balance here, lifting your hands off the ground so that your body has to balance itself in a little bit of a precarious way. And sweep that leg back and switch. Leg comes around. Let's find a kneeling lunge. When you find your base, your stability, lift your hands and just notice your body balancing itself on fewer points. And then we'll go ahead and place the hands down. Let's tuck that back toe and step the back foot to meet the front foot. We'll widen our stance, hinge down from the hips and touch your fingers to your elbows. Just let your arms swing around your head here. Let there be loose movement in the shoulders. And the body just hangs here long. And go ahead and release the fingertips to the floor. Come up to a flat back. Bring hands to shins and then rest your elbows on your thighs, allowing you to drop your hips a little bit more. So come into this kind of neutral position between head down and head up. This is a great way to stabilize the blood pressure. If you ever get lightheaded when you come up from forward fold, this is kind of a nice halfway mark. And then let's press the hands to the legs, lift through the heart and come all the way up to standing, mountain pose. We're gonna keep the feet just slightly wider than hips distance apart. Inhale the arms overhead, and as you do, see about coming up on your toes. And wow, look at all of that body weight over those two small body parts. Balls of our feet and our toes, pretty amazing. Hands to heart, drop your heels, sink into chair. Let's do that again. Inhale, come all the way up onto your toes. Another great way to strengthen your ankles and feet. Exhale, come into chair. Let's go through this a couple more times, finding Ujjayi breath. In this practice, you're going to notice a lot of shaky ground, a lot of shaky muscles. And that's not really a pleasant place to be. We'd rather be stable. We're teaching ourselves that we can stand on shaky ground and we can still feel calm. Let's go one more time. And as you come down into chair, pause right here to feel the earth beneath you. And then if you like, remove some of that earth. Balancing chair, strengthening feet. Can you keep a slow, steady breath, even with all of that work going on? Nice, dropping the heels. Come to mountain pose. Roll the shoulders a few times and just feel yourself standing on solid ground. So at the top of the mat, you're going to inhale the arms up, and as we do, slowly lift the right heel And then the right leg comes all the way up. On the exhale, sweep back again to that warrior one. Sorry, warrior three. Inhale, lift the knee. And exhale, foot to the ground, hands to heart center. Pause between the sides to notice. A lot gets stirred up when we shift to one leg. Breathing gets more shallow, the heart races a bit. Teaching ourselves how quickly we can come back to a settled state. When something gives us a little uptick. So let's switch sides. Inhale, peel the left heel off the ground, left knee comes up. Eyes on one point as you slowly shift back to a variation of warrior three. And back up slowly. And hands come to heart. Again, notice, did breath get shallow? Did mind get a little busy? Feel the earth beneath you. Feel the breath in your lungs settling. And releasing the arms, take a nice slow deep breath in, reach high. Swan dive, bend your knees, hinge from the hips, bow low. Press to lift halfway. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Monday is more gentle yoga, so if you'd like to take a vinyasa, those will be optional today. We'll always pause long enough to give you time, so if you'd like to take a vinyasa, do that now. And then when you're ready, step your feet wide, come to the width of your yoga mat. Hands back about a hand length and just press. Let's find our way into our hamstrings. Bend one knee and bend the other. If you like, you can let a heel come up off the floor. Stretch into the outside edges of your body. And then pressing both heels toward the mat, bring your hands even closer. And now turn the toes out, heels in. You're gonna drop the hips, just maybe about halfway down. And then as you lift, come up on your toes. Drop the heels, drop the hips. Inhale to your toes. This is going to be an awesome practice for foot health. Those of you that are wanting to build strength and circulation in your feet, all these tippy toe things really help. You might notice as you come down that your hips are inviting you to sit a little deeper. Just listen to your body. And then let's come into prayer squat, remembering that that might be up here for some of us. It might be in a chair for some of us. And our knees might say, yeah, that's fine to come all the way down into prayer squat. So I'd like to offer you an opportunity to play with balance on your hands today. So if you want to take me up on the offer of crow, we're going to spend a little time here. So option is to stay right here. If you're curious about this, place your hands on the ground right in front of you and the fingers are spread wide. I want you to look forward as much as you can and just rock forward and back. So you might pick up your hands and then place them again, come up on your toes. Your eyes stay toward the top of your mat. Notice as we're coming forward and back that we're starting to put our legs on the backs of our arms. Core is engaged. Lifting the pelvic floor helps. So you can keep rocking forward and back. The next step, if you'd like to take it, is to hold. And so kind of wiggling, bringing the feet a little closer together, finding a shelf on the back of the arms. This is a great place to stay. Toes are down. I'm looking forward, engaging the core. If that's a green light for you, you might pick up one foot, switch, and every once in a while the planets line up and you can fly. So crow, Bakasana, you really do have to look forward. Bring your big toes to touch, belly strong. And the name of that pose in Sanskrit is Bakasana. So we say Baka, Baka. Fingertips down. Woo. Straighten the legs, square the feet, and just shake your head. Take off any tension that showed up from there. Let's come again into downward facing dog. And on the inhale, raise one leg, open that hip, stretch across the hip crease. Step that foot between your thumbs, low lunge. Just keep this nice low lungy position. If you want to challenge balance again, just pick your hands up. Hover here on 1.5 feet. And we'll switch downward facing dog, pedal the heels. Let's raise the left leg. You can open up that hip, stretch the hip flexors. And then step the left foot forward, low lunge. Finding balance. Maybe hover the hands over the ground. How's your breath? Let's keep the hands on the ground now. We'll step the back foot to meet the front foot. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach up. Nice slow motion. And bring your hands to your heart. Balance. On the next inhale, pick up your right heel and let that right knee come up. Exhale, shoot the leg and the arms back into this airplane, kind of warrior 3 variation. And then bring your right hand to your right hip, left hand either to a block or the floor. And then just start to turn your body open to the side of the mat, side of the room for half moon. And flex your back foot, sideways footprint on the back wall. Deep, slow breaths. Balance. Return the hand to the hips, slowly square your hips. Back foot meets the front, fold forward. Just feel the difference. Those 2 feet we're doing 2 different things. They might even look different to your eyes right now. As we come up from the hips, rise high, peel the left heel off the floor. Rise slowly, lift. And take your time. Maybe there's a chair next to you. You'd like to keep a hand on a chair. Give you a little bit, one more point of balance, stability. Bring your right hand to the floor or a block, left hand to your lower back, and start to peel your hips open. You can stay here or lift into half moon. If you fall, get back up. Try again. Try with an additional place of support. The hand comes to the hip. The hips square. Let's lower that foot and fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Your choice to stay here, or if you are a vinyasa person, flow, build some heat. We'll look at another way that we can find balance. We're going to raise the right leg. And on the exhale, step through, find that low lunge. And now we'll reach up to high lunge. You want to feel a stretch in that hip flexor, and a lunge really is a balancing position. We've got a lot going on here with 1.5 feet on the floor. So feel that stability and then see about picking up your right heel. Right heel. Hands come to heart center, move slowly. And you can keep that heel up or put it back down, and we're going to twist. Just twist in an upright position toward the right side. That right heel is probably shaking. Right leg a little, probably talking to you a little bit. Talk back. Tell it it's okay. And come back to center. Release the heel to the floor. Exhale. Reach your arms high. And exhale down, hands to mat. Let's scoop that right leg up again, and let's give it a nice little shake. Circle the ankle, move the knee, move the hip. And then as we come forward, just drop the right knee to the mat. Kick the foot off the edge of the mat and open up into a kneeling side plank. You can be on the bottom hand or fist, depending on what your wrists want. Let's do some shoulder circles. So reach out over the ear, circle around, go back as far as you can. Just give your shoulders some opening and space. Move with your breath. It usually feels so good. When we're in a room with people, I always hear a lot of with this one. So if that escapes your lips, that's awesome. All right, with the fingers to the ceiling, come up onto the fingertips of your bottom hand. And see about even using your core to hover above the ground. Balance. What about picking up the opposite leg? What about a little teeter-totter? It's an interesting place to find balance, isn't it? Let's return to the earth, tabletop. Work through a couple of cat and cow. Just bring your spine back into center. Your breath back to steady. And tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Let's raise the left leg and step it through, low lunge. You might want to bring your right foot out a little wider, closer to the side of your mat, so that you have a little wider base to balance on. High lunge. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you like, see about picking up your left heel. Challenging your balance. You're standing on the balls of your feet. And your hands in front of your heart. And move slowly, twisting to the left. I know some of you are probably saying this is supposed to be gentle yoga. Gentle means different things probably to you and me. But we're just learning balance, how to bring ourselves back when life is out of balance. Drop the heel, come back to center, reach the arms high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands to mat, sweeping the left leg high. Let's shake it out. And then shifting forward, we'll drop the left knee down, kick the left foot off, and open up into a kneeling side plank. Let's do some of those delicious arm circles. Really exaggerating the circle you're tracing. Shoulder mobility. One more time around, ending with the fingers to the ceiling. Come up onto the fingertips of your bottom hand and test the waters. Notice how much core is required to hover there. And if you like a little more challenge, pick up the foot. You can teeter-totter back and forth, or try both. Stay with your breath. Building heat here, yeah? Release. Come back around to the tabletop. Oh my goodness. Cat and cow. Let your knees come out wide. Settle into child's pose and take a few breaths to come back to the earth, to get re-grounded. And back to tabletop. Looking at another balance. So this is called spinal balance, but let's start by picking up the right hand and the left knee just 1 inch off the ground. Noticing again how much the core has to work for just even this. When you're ready, extend the leg back and the hand forward, balancing on your shin in one hand. If you'd like a little more challenge, pick up your back foot and balance on one knee in one hand. That foot is up, lower it, come back to both shins. Right arm comes out to the side. We're going to open the arm up nice and wide and exhale, scoop through to thread the needle. Right shoulder, right ear on the floor. This is your reward for the balance effort. Breathe into the back of your right shoulder blade. You can walk your left fingers forward more if you like. Fill up with breath and let breath go. As we return to a tabletop, re-engage with your core. Find this is a table with 4 solid legs. And we're going to remove 2 of the legs. So you want the 2 remaining legs to be symmetrical. So left hand, right knee 1 inch. Balance yourself on those 2 corner legs and then go ahead and start to extend. Spinal balance. Find your breath here. If you'd like a little more challenge, pick up the left foot, balance on left knee, right hand. Make it interesting, like a kid trying to see what they can do. And then lower that foot, opposite knee, left arm lifts high, scoop through to thread the needle. You might notice some heat in the room. Balancing poses cause us to just really heat up from the inside out. Breathe into your left shoulder, full expression of breath in and out. And come back to a tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and then walk your hands to the top of your mat for forward fold. Exhale out loud. Press on your shins, lift halfway. Find that nice strong spine. You can bend your knees and rest here for a moment. And when you're ready, sweep the arms up high. And hands to heart. All right, one more balance pose, standing balance pose before we come to the floor. So on the inhale, sweep the arms up, pick up your right heel and let the knee follow. On the exhale, hands to heart, bring the foot behind you and the knee is gonna stay bent. We're going into dancer's pose. So I'm going to turn this way. Dancer's pose, we'll take the right palm up and inside the ankle. Right palm to the inside of the ankle. You can stay right here and just play with balance. If you'd like to extend your limbs, set your eyes on a point, lift the left arm, and begin to kick the right foot into the right hand. Let the kicking create the forward reach. So the kicking is the action. Go as far or as little as you like. Slowly wobble your way back. And let's just do this. Bring your hands over your heart. Press both hands to your chest. Close your eyes and feel again this rush, this jitteriness, agitation. Take deep breaths, teaching yourself how to calm your own nervous system. Teaching yourself how to slow your own heartbeat. How to come from a state of agitation, upset, anxiety, to a state of calm and groundedness. It's right here underneath our hands with our breath. Longer exhale. And when you're ready, release. Arms high, pick up your left heel and then the left knee. Eyes on a point that's not moving. As the hands come to heart center, pull that leg back into line, bend the knee. Left hand palm up onto the inside of the ankle. Steady yourself here and then see about extending. Maybe kicking into the hand, maybe not. Testing the waters. If you fall, start over. Here to play, challenge our balance. Here to be curious, Ease your way back home. And regardless of what happened there, take a wider stance. Bring your hands over your heart. Close your eyes and feel into your own medicine, your own healing, your own toolkit. Bring in the word Ananda, which means bliss. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Your own bliss is right here under your hands, and it's 2 or 3 deep breaths away at any time. No matter how shaky the ground feels. It's right here. Slowly release and inhale the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dogs. Last chance for vinyasa. Come forward into plank pose and take your feet wider. All right, so we've got a table again. We got 4 legs. Let's just alternate picking up the legs of the table one at a time. Just challenging the balance. Kind of be random. A foot, a hand, just be random. And then what about picking up opposite hand and foot? I wouldn't advise same hand and foot, but I don't know, try that. One more time. Core is happy. Drop your knees. Settle your hips back. Long, loud exhale. That's enough of that. Again, 3 breaths away. Your inner calm, your inner peace. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves up and around into a seated position. Legs out in front of us. And you might want to put your hips up on a blanket. Elevating the hips helps with lower back. It also helps if your hamstrings are tight. I'm going to do a little different variation of a seated forward fold today. Go ahead and bend your knees. And bring your arms underneath your legs. Take a hold of your forearms. Give your legs a little hug. As you feel your belly kind of resting there on your legs, you might stay right here, just drop your chin a bit. You can also slide your heels out to a place where you feel a comfortable forward fold. Just let your arms stay where they are under your legs. Direct breath into your back now. Let the back of your body start to release, soften, expand. Ananda, bliss. Start to release through a flat back. Peel the hands out, hands to the floor. Lengthen your spine. And you might find now that your hamstrings have released a little bit. If you like, you can scoop the arms under it again, or just walk your fingers forward and take another look at a seated forward fold. Breath in the back of the body, spine long. Awareness. Ananda, bliss. And press the hands to the mat. Come to a nice tall spine. Inhale the arms up. Feel the length of your spine. And then bring your hands to your heart. Let's walk the heels in closer to the hips. We'll find another way to balance. We're already doing a pretty good job of balancing on our sitting bones and our heels. So the more we lean back, the more challenge this is for our core. So play with boat as if you've never done boat before. Try a new version. One heel, then the other, maybe both. And experiment with where the hands are, where the legs are, as you balance on your two sitting bones. Shoulders stay relaxed, face stays at peace. Take a deep breath. Whatever version of chair you've chosen, sit in your, boat you've chosen. Kind of feels like chair. Take a hold of the backs of the legs, heels drop, soles of the feet come together, lengthen the spine, and then ease yourself down over into butterfly. Again, directing breath into your back. Settling. Let's release butterfly. Knees come back together. Lower yourself down onto your back. And once you get onto your back, stretch your body out long. Arms overhead, legs reaching. Give yourself this kind of good morning or good evening stretch. Maybe yawning, wiggling around as much as you can on the floor. And then scoop the arms around to your sides. Draw the knees into the chest. Let's extend our legs up into the air. Legs up the wall. If you'd like, you can put something underneath your hips for waterfall. Let your breath be slow and steady, even and equal. Everything in reverse. If your hands are beneath you, release them. Put a bend in your knees. And then reach up to get a hold of either your big toes or the outsides of your feet. Come into happy baby. The name of this pose in Sanskrit is Ananda Balasana, blissful baby. Move around here in a way that feels blissful, helpful. If it doesn't feel good to grab your feet, hands on the thighs is a nice option. Deep, slow breath. And release, bring the feet back together, extend the legs one more time, nice and high. Lift the head. And then bend your knees. Place the feet on the floor right by your hips. Let's lift up into bridge pose. You can have your hands on the floor or come beneath you. And now this just gives you a chance to really breathe into the diaphragm, the muscle that sits at the base of the rib cage. You might even try this. Bring your hands to the side of your ribs and feel your breathing expanding sideways, broadening the whole bottom of the rib cage, and then squeezing in. One more deep breath in, bridge pose. And slowly lower your hips down to the ground. Stretch your body out long one more time. Take a deep breath in, yawn. As you exhale, the arms come toward the ceiling and press right down to your sides. Roll the palms up, tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. Take your feet a little wider and just flop your feet in and out a few times. Just letting your leg bones move in and out with no effort. And then let the feet flop open and rest. Close your eyes. Come inside. Find Ananda, bliss, right here under your skin. You might start to feel breath like a wave. As you inhale, the wave comes up through the bottoms of your feet, filling your whole body to the crown of your head. And then the wave of breath leaves, coming out of your head, down your torso, your legs, and pouring out of the bottoms of your feet and fingertips. Inhale to draw that wave up again. And exhale as the wave of breath leaves your body through your fingertips, through your feet. Take a couple more deep, slow, wave-like breaths. And when you're ready, wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Move your fist, your wrist, your foot, your ankle. And start to make your way back from where you are to a seat. I'm going to finish today with balanced breathing, which is alternate nostril breath. Alternate nostril breath is brain science. So if you take your two fingers and make a little X on your forehead, it's just kind of a reminder that When we breathe through the left nostril, it stimulates the right side of our brain. And when we breathe through the right, it stimulates the left side of our brain. So you can see my shirt, I have kind of a rainbow on. This is rainbow breath. You'll breathe in through one and out the other, and then you'll switch. So let's begin by taking 2 fingers and placing them here at the brow point. We'll take 1 breath in through both nostrils. And we'll let that breath go. If there's anything in the way, you can grab a tissue quickly before you start. And then closing off the right nostril very softly, breathe in through the left side. Imagine that breath going into the right side of your brain. At the top, switch your fingers, breathe out of the right nostril. Inhale through the right, imagining breath coming into the left side of your brain. Switch fingers at the top, breathe out of the left. And then we'll repeat, in through the left, out through the right, in right, out left. Balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain, in left, out right. And one more time, in right, out left. Release your hands, keep your eyes closed, breathe normally. See if you notice any difference in your body, any more balance, symmetry, stability, evenness. Let's bring our hands together at heart center. Ananda is bliss. Shakti is divine energy. May you leave today present, balanced, and centered in your blissful divine energy. Namaste.